I think I've been a little bit stingy with my watercolour paint, and it's making watercolour painting harder than it needs to be. My proposed solution involves a new palette, so I thought you might like to see. This is the palette that I have used and loved for more years than I care to admit, and it holds loads of colours, and I fill up the little wells whenever I need to from tubes. So these little pans come in the half size, which allows me to put more colours in. And, you know, I love playing with the rainbow, so I love that. I love putting in so many different colours. But I realised I needed a few bigger spaces. So you can get what they call a full pan, which I have here. But obviously then you've got half as many colours. And I still was having a few problems with this system. The reason I loved it in the first place was that I was obsessed with this idea of not wasting. You know, when you set yourself up to paint, there's so many lovely, fun things to get in the way of supplies. You don't need much, but you know, the colors is something that really had me going, and I tended to just want loads and loads of colors, and they can be quite expensive. So I didn't want to waste a single drop. So you don't need a palette that stores your paint. You can, of course, use something like an old dinner plate. But I love the idea that you could have the colours sitting there, use as much as you needed for your painting, and then whatever was left was going to be available for use the next time. Now, one of the main things that was troubling me is I love loose, expressive painting. So the best thing for that is a very big, juicy brush. If you love loose, expressive painting, one of the things you really need is a big, juicy brush. So let's say you've got something like this, or even this, or even this. Now, those are going to pose something of a problem in here. It's absolutely possible. Of course, you can do it, but you do run the risk of damaging the tip of your brush when you're sort of mashing it in there to try and reactivate the paint and get enough paint onto the bristles. And if you want to fully charge the brush, you've got to transfer that pigment into one of the wells and really kind of get it activated. Otherwise, you're only going to get paint in this very tip of the brush. Now, if you're doing little detailed paintings, that might be fine. But if you want big, juicy brush strokes, you need a little bit more room to play and gather up all of that delicious color. So I started looking for different palettes, and I found this one that got me really quite excited. But I think I might have been having a bit of a senior moment, because the thing I was so excited about was that the palettes were removable. Well, this palette that I've had for years, removable? No, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I got very excited about this palette, and yes, it has removable wells. They're a slightly different style. So it's not exactly that they're removable, but there are a few other things about this particular new palette that I really like. So the thing I really like about these, apart from the fact that they are removable, is they're a little bit bigger and they seem to be a better shape. That kind of takes my whole brush, even this lovely big juicy brush, and something like that, I can use that a lot more comfortably in there too. So that makes me happy. Plus, there's all of this lovely mixing space. And I have to say, you know, sometimes you get a little bit stale in your practice and you want something new to kind of liven it up. And sometimes just a new palette might be the go. Now, you don't, as I say, you don't need to go and buy a big new palette, but you probably want to. Of course, you can use just, if you're needing a change, you could just change it up and use an old white dinner plate or something like that. See if that kind of breathes fresh new life into your painting practice. Let's do a quick little painting now, and hopefully I can show you what I mean. I've been finding that being able to load my big juicy brush generously with lovely colour has made me feel much more free and expressive. And I want to show you what I mean with this quick little imaginary landscape. I'm really just using my brush. I'm enjoying the way the colour is going down. I'm enjoying the way the brush is moving, and it's doing that so well, partly because it's a lovely brush. I've got a separate video about that. I'll link it in the cards. But also because I've been able to put lots of lovely colour on it and let it work its own magic. Similarly, you know, one of the things we love about watercolour is the way that the colours mix and mingle on the page. Now, if you're using mean little puddles of colour, you're not going to be able to see that. You need to be able to spread out that brush, let the big belly of the brush push all that juicy colour out onto the page in order to enjoy some of these properties of watercolour. I don't actually have a reference that I'm working from. I'm really just painting things I like to paint. So I started by putting in some branches and tree trunk-like structures with the tip of my brush, and a lovely glow of soft yellow in the background that I'm merging up into a sky colour, which is a juicy puddle of blue that I was able to mix in my generous mixing wells. How about some lovely green to add to those tree-like structures that I suggested when I started this little painting? I'm using one of my favourite granulating colours, and yes, there's a separate video all about that too. This one's Green Apatite Genuine, and I'm just using my lovely brush to put in these green marks, and if you can put it in with enough water and enough pigment, the granulating colours will really work their own magic. But if you've got a tiny little mean palette, you're going to find it an awful lot harder to paint in this kind of free manner. And talking of the colours, now you might be wondering, since I have all these colours and I'm used to working with this nice rainbow to choose from, you might be wondering why I haven't filled up all of these palettes, all of these pans yet. And I probably will in time. But one of the things I started to realize is that apart from having a little bit more paint to play with, so a little bit more of a spirit of abundance in charging up the brush and mixing up big juicy puddles of color to apply to your paper, the other thing that really helps is to have paint that is fresh from the tube. Now, as I say, I hate waste, so I'm always going to be wanting to use up my dried scraps just by spritzing them with a little bit of water when I'm ready to paint again. But I probably won't fill them up completely because then that means the chances of painting with very fresh, juicy paint are much more limited. I'm happy to put in a little bit and top it up for almost for each painting if I need to do that. And this has also helped me to paint with a little bit more of a limited palette. As I say, I love playing with the rainbow, and there are no rules. You know, if that's what makes you happy. I mean, this is why we paint. We paint to be happy. And if you want to paint with all the colors in your palette, you go right ahead. But you may also like the slightly more restrained approach of using a limited number of colors, either because you don't have a huge range in your collection or because you like the more harmonious feel that you get from working with a limited palette and just mixing up the colors you need from a couple of, 2 to 5 maybe different colors in your palette. Try them all. Try all of these things and see what makes you happy. What's been making me happy is putting in these grassy marks with the tip of my brush. I'm using the green that I chose for the trees, but I'm also going to bring in some of the other colors that I've used. I've got a lovely dark indigo color that I'm using as the dark because I know that even though I'm making up a little scene here out of my head just by painting things that I like to paint, which is trees and paths and sky and little bits of relaxed grasses, I do know that I need a variety of light and dark. So I've chosen my dark indigo, which I happen to be enjoying at the moment, to add a few little punchy darks. And because most of my paint is still wet, those marks are softening out into the paint that's already there. Painting without a reference is very freeing because there is simply no question of whether what I'm doing is right or wrong, because I'm just making it up and I'm working with whatever happens on the page and having a look at what I think that mark resembles to see if I want to add anything more to it, to turn it into something that I might put in this imaginary landscape. And I think part of the reason that I'm feeling able to paint in this kind of free, expressive way is that I've kind of liberated my paint and my color. I've liberated my materials a little so that they are feeling free to play, and therefore I can feel free to play too. If you're wondering about this lovely brush that I am painting with, I used it in the last painting I did, and I made a video all about this brush. You can watch that one next to find out a little bit more. Happy painting!